to the Woman's Legacy podcast show. This podcast is for all women identifying as trailblazers, entrepreneurs, pioneers, visionaries, and or priestesses who have already built so much. You've maybe already made the big money. You've maybe built a successful business. You may have your dream partner. You may have manifested the thing, and you want more. And as you already have built so much, you do not necessarily want faster and higher, but deeper, more meaning, more pleasure, more impact. You ask, what now? What's my next evolution? My next era? My next step? Here to build a legacy. If you can't take your followers and fame to the grave, what do you want to build? What do you want to leave behind? How do you want to have lived? What is your legacy? That we explore in this podcast. I'm your host, Julia, and with my brand Luxury Goddess, I have been a coach and mentor since 2018. I have made over 4 million euros in the German marketplace alone. I have emigrated with my beautiful family as we always have dreamed of. I've moved from trauma bonding to a beautiful, thriving relationship of many years with my dream man. I travel, I love my community, I love my life, and continually expand into innovation. More bliss, more heartfelt service, here to build a legacy. So if you resonate with this and are on a similar mission, my work in this podcast is for you. Let's dive into today's episode. Enjoy. Welcome to today's episode, in which I want to explore with you a mix of, if we want to narrow it down right now at the beginning, true femininity, real femininity, true feminine force, and what is true to you, what you are here for, which this podcast is about in terms of leaving a legacy behind. And so I've contemplated this a lot this week as I was very much immersed in what I was experiencing. I'm currently traveling in Germany, in my home country, before giving my Women Tantra retreat. And I wanted to make sure I don't have any jet lag when we start, but I also had a few things that I wanted to do before, visit my grandparents and pick up a few of our stuff that we left in July, go to the dentist and all those things. And so I wasn't really online much, and I also made the decision to not really watch on Instagram what other women were doing necessarily, as especially in human design, as a non-energy type that I am. It's good for me to really retreat and be in my own field and feel what comes through from me without being too influenced by anything in the outside. So it's not about, that anything is bad or not good in a sense, but that just because I'm experiencing it, it does influence me. Just that. And the more I am in my own field, the more I can literally feel what I need and I want and what comes through for me to birth and bring forth. And so I was feeling into a few things. I think one of them I shared last week, if I'm not mistaken, and it's this topic around beauty standards, where I'm really noticing for me that it's so good for me to take some time back from Instagram or from certain accounts or people that, again, nothing against those people. They're some of them are just amazing, and the others I just don't really know. But from seeing all that Botox and all the lip injections and all those things, I just really feel the influence and how it doesn't feel good in my body for me. And how good it has felt to not even relate so much to those profiles or Instagram stories. And again, it's not judging anyone else's decision. Like if you do something like that, that's beautiful. If it works well for you, right? That's cool. I'm not judging the thing. It's not about anyone else's decisions, because that's, everyone's thing. But for me, and so I'm wondering, or opening up this conversation for you to feel into what you consume and what you look at and what you receive as a beauty standard, and also as a standard of a woman in business, a woman that is an entrepreneur, that is a visionary. So depending on how you basically identify in terms of, do you have a business and all those things, and how you perceive others. Because I do see that tendency that we're still, as a market, as an industry, are super masculine. And even those who say and teach about feminine energetics, I feel we're still scratching the surface. And for me, I can say that I've been on this path for 5 years in business and 10 years overall of exploring spirituality and femininity and healing. And it's a whole journey, right? It's not that today I'm learning something and I'm enlightened. And I see this a lot, though, that people feel like that they're enlightened and reborn now, and that may be true, but until the next awakening, until the next enlightenment, basically, right? Because it's all unraveling further and further. And so I want to speak a bit about what real and true femininity is to me, so that you can feel into what that activates inside of you and contemplate further after this episode, if you want to. Because to me, it is one thing that we learn about the yin attributes, about the feminine and masculine energy and what they mean, and to really explore our feminine. Because as a woman, you always have your innate feminine as your core. You can birth. You are intuitive. You nourish yourself and the world. It's just who you are in your core as a woman. But of course, you have the feminine and masculine energetics inside of you, just like you have you have the night and the day, and you have the parasympathetic and the sympathetic, and so on. We always have duality, and we have feminine and masculine as well in that duality, in the energetics. And then it's another thing to explore your cycle as a woman, your feminine cycle, your menstruation, the cycle with the moon, with nature, with maybe the wheel of the year, the Celtic traditions, your sexual energy, which is the life force energy. So really how to free that up in your body, and to do the work around trauma integration with spaces and around your body that feel numb, where you don't feel, and where probably trauma is stored, which is why oftentimes it is numb. And those are really important pillars, and many more, like learning to really feel our feelings again, and the alchemy of feelings, alchemizing anger and sadness, and really learning to grieve and have beautiful endings, and really getting to know all the archetypes and facets that you have, especially the sacred slut, the holy whore, the wild woman, those archetypes that are most of the time suppressed, and there is a lot of shame around them. Because as we explore them, we understand that it's all suppressed energy, and that our feminine is suppressed. And the more we do that, we find out how real femininity feels. And yes, of course, we can have a business and sell things and, be an entrepreneur and all the things. We can do that. And we can also do that in a feminine way. But the way I see it done up until this point is only a reflection of what has been possible up until now. And not even probably a reflection of the most feminine women who really explore femininity, but of those women who are most successful or most, famous or whatever, who then talk about femininity. And the reason I'm saying it, because of course it's beautiful, everyone is doing their thing and that's cool. But why I'm talking about other people in the sense is, as it is a topic for me too, to not be influenced, to not believe that how others do it is my way, or that I should do it in any way like them, or that sets the standard, or that I should do it this way because they're, successful. And so if I want to be successful, I should, just take them as an orientation. Whereas the more I explore for me what it's really about, a legacy means to me, and I said this in a few episodes already, right? In all the different ways, how true am I to myself? How honest am I to myself? How much am I feeling myself? How much am I alive in this body, really in the now, in the present? Or am I constantly on my phone and somewhere in the future or in the past? Am I here too, most of the time and most of the day? Alive. And isn't just all my power in one thing, say an online business, but just as much with me alone, with my partner, with my kid, or that's my life, but whatever is other parts of your life currently. And so to really feel into that, because real femininity won't ask at first, how can I be successful? How can I do the next thing? How can I make more money? It will first innately, to our core as a feminine being, ask, how's your cup full? Is your intuition clearly coming through? Are you trusting your path? Are you letting go of what no longer serves you and letting things die and really let yourself grieve too? Are you surrendering not to any invitation of anyone or anything you believe or think you should surrender to, but to your own deepest desires and dreams and your truth? Surrender is so freaking misunderstood because, you should just surrender. No, you should not. Be a sovereign being, discern, and then surrender to what feels true to you. And in my honest opinion, true femininity can't really be lived when I put so much onto my body. And, each person, again, has to find out for them what it means. For some, it won't even work to have fake nails as I do, as it won't feel right and the body wants to just get rid of it. And then, for example, for me, it would never work to have Botox or lip injections or anything like that, or surgery if I wouldn't have to, because it's coming to my body. I will feel a little less. There's chemicals I put into my body. It doesn't matter how much they dissipate. They still put it in there consciously. And to also look at how much do we put on our bodies with lotions and all the things, right, that we wash ourselves with and all those things, and what is in them really? Are these natural resources, or are we putting all that stuff on our body that goes into it because it's the biggest organ? So real femininity will eventually always ask, what is the true history or her story? What was true? What is true? Because when we really truly look deeply into how womanhood is lived right now in this world, we can see that it's not okay, and that this isn't the best. And it's not just since yesterday. As I have researched, it's been thousands of years that the feminine has been suppressed, and that the patriarchy has really taken over. In this, I don't mean like a few people or a man that are mean. I don't mean that. It's just like a system basically of suppression, because they thought it's the best way to do it this way. We don't even have to go any route where anyone is a victim or the villain, because again, we're in the illusion of separation when we do that. But in the moment where we say, something isn't right here, and what happened, and how do we get back to our freedom and not feeling shame around our bodies and our free expression? Who am I truly? I won't know until I go deeper and deeper into the layers of the different archetypes, or the different, and that is the same to me, the different facets that I have, and exploring who I truly am in the essence of femininity, which is raw feminine force. It's not a few energetics and a few attributes. They can help us explore it, of course, but we can't stop there if we really want to embody and then even teach about those things, if that is something. Because I see it so much in the coaching industry, and I sometimes I don't feel it helps, because it's again the superficial thing, but it's not real feminine force. But of course, most of the time, because most people don't allow themselves even to go that deep and really immerse themselves into that energy and what it means to them, and to really, really, really explore. Because femininity, real feminine force, isn't one image of it, one appearance. It's allowing yourself to be it all and feel it all and let it all move through you, with the willingness to put that first. To put that first instead of, the success, and I have to function, I have to work, and I have to do this. And first, the wild woman. First, the sacred slut. First, the wise woman. First, the maiden. First, the crown. First, the energy of the mother in integrity, which is the woman in her golden age. In the golden age. And so that is the invitation that I have for you today, to really contemplate truth, depth, feminine force, real and raw feminine energy. If we've just scratched the surface, and it's about deepening and ascension through descension, which is the tantric path too of, enlightenment through the body, and really loving that body and feeling ourselves, then how much more space is there? And is that something that you want? Is that connected to the legacy that you want to leave behind? If you every day again and again ask, what is true? Who am I truly? Who do I want to be truly? Can I give more space for grieving and moving and my intuition and trust and all the things before my masculine kicks in again, and before my brain wants to understand it all and, make something out of it and judges it again? How much can you actually allow yourself to be in that and be? That is the invitation. Explore, contemplate, reflect, play with it. If you enjoyed this episode, let me know. If you have any wishes, let me know as well. And I catch you in the next episode if you want to. That was today's episode of the Woman's Legacy podcast show. I hope this episode and whole podcast serves you. And if it does, I invite you to leave a 5-star review on iTunes, or rank the podcast 5 stars on whatever platform you listen, and or subscribe, comment, or share. Whatever feels right to you, so we can let all trailblazers and pioneers know that this podcast is out there, here to serve and support. Thank you. From one trailblazer to another, I deeply appreciate you rising for you, your immediate environment, and for this world. I look forward to catch you next time. Yours, Julia.